Oh, I heard somebody's clap this time. This is the
damn.
first time I've heard a clap. That's
I
nice.
think that was Matthews.
I think that was me.
He'd be clapping them cheeks.
You clapped at just the right frequency for it not to totally peak out. Good for you.
Big money.
All right. Who's starting this off? Steven, why don't you take this one away?
Hello, and welcome to the Barkin Boys podcast. I'm Stephen. I'm here with my good buddies, Vidith and Hard Hat's Garage. Although at this point, I think he's less of a garage and more of a man. But this week, we're talking about some aliens. We're not talking about Flat Earth today, as I recently heard, and then something else, of which I've already forgotten, but I'm sure you'll hear.
There's definitely some stories here.
There are some
We're
stories.
definitely talking about something. Matthew's
That's kind of the point of the podcast, right?
That's true.
Is that what we're here for? I thought we were just.
God, it'd be real boring if it was just silent for an hour. That's crazy.
Oh, I do need to share a little gym update with y'all before we get started. I'm now on nodding terms with the roided up guy at the gym. So like,
Oh, dude. Hey,
yeah.
that's how you know you're getting somewhere.
nah, that's a pretty big win. That means I've been going enough, right?
Oh yeah,
True.
nodding terms. He looks at you. He's gonna offer you some.
He said,
before
"Yeah, I
long.
remember you."
I can't wait.
Start
I can't
cycling
wait.
with him. But you know.
Nodding turn.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't.
No, I'll be honest. I was gonna say something, then I had a
That's
burp.
crazy.
All right, well, let's get right
Congratulations
to
Hard
it.
Hat for a brand new microphone.
Oh, dude, yes.
Oh, yeah.
If it
God
sounds better,
bless.
that's why.
Everybody
Yep.
now in the podcast, this will be the first official episode where everybody has a decent mic.
It's kind of incredible. In fact, it didn't actually take us that long, but thanks to Hard Hat, both me and Hard Hat are on the right track.
Yeah, we finally
Big
got her
money.
going. So
Hell yeah.
this is professional.
Sadly, I do this for a
YouTuber,
living. This is unfortunate.
So this is
Well, that's cool. I want to talk about aliens. You mind if I talk about aliens
Dude,
for a minute?
I'm here for it.
Okay, so I don't know if you're in the know. I mean, we talked just a second ago. So in Miami, I think it was like today or yesterday or 2 days ago or something, which would make it early January of 2024. They closed down a mall because like some teenagers were wearing like an alien suit and shooting off some fireworks, which I actually think is like a government cover up. Like, oh, look at those stupid kids. They're making fun of us. And it was actually some fucking aliens in Miami. But because Florida is so fucking crazy, right? Like, how would we know? You know? Like, it very
Is that
well
a
could have been
crackhead
just
running
aliens.
around, or is that an alligator, or is that?
Is it a crackhead with an alligator? You know, like, it reminds me of that story of this dude who threw an alligator in a Wendy's drive-through window to scare his buddy.
What the fuck?
And that is one of the most Florida things I've ever heard in my life. That
Yeah,
wasn't
he-
even too long ago. That
Yeah,
just,
he
like,
was
just
charged
happened.
with that and shit too.
Yeah,
Really out
I
here
think he like
experiencing life
got
experiences every
off on
fucking week.
parole, if I remember right. Like, because he wasn't a bad dude. He just like didn't think through the consequences of his
Yeah,
actions.
he was like, "Oh wait, what if I release
said-
this deadly creature inside of a Wendy's?"
Step one,
Well,
put
for
the
what it's
alligator
worth, it
in
was
the-
like a small one. Like,
I get.
Listen,
guess.
I understand the Baconator's good and all, but
God, that'd be a hell of a fucking ride, though, if it was a big one. Could you just
you
make
gonna
sure it
ride
falls
it?
to the window?
but
yeah, it takes 3 men to toss it in that Wendy's drive-through window.
okay. So speaking of crazy Florida things, and I'm gonna interject in my alien story because this one's kind of out there, off the wall, batshit. What the actual fuck? And it's actually really American too, because the first thing you think
Well,
of
all
when-
alien encounters happen in America, right?
Well,
That's
yeah,
just how
because
it
we're the
goes.
only craziest people. Anyways, so the first thing you do when you see an alien is you shoot it, right? Right.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay,
For
I
sure.
think the Russians were the first ones to shoot a missile at an alien spacecraft, allegedly, right? And that's just me like remembering some deep brain shit, but I think they're the ones like they were using MiGs to try to shoot him down until the aliens shot enough Russian fighter jets down. They put a no conflict order or whatever they called it over there.
That is fucking
don't
insane.
shoot at aliens order out. Because they lost too many pilots shooting at aliens. The aliens were like, nah, fuck this, and they turned off their plane or whatever.
What the fuck?
Dude, that's like the reason that people have directions on like simple shit, right? It's
Don't shoot at aliens.
don't
yeah.
shoot at aliens. That's crazy. But, sorry, what were you saying? Zach,
Okay,
about
so it
shooting
is.
aliens?
It is August 21st, 1955.
No,
Okay.
it's 2024.
Ah, shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna spit out my coffee.
We're in Deep Woods, Kentucky, Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Already a bad start.
Yeah.
That's close to Florida.
On the evening of August 21st, 5 adults, 7 children, arrived at the Hopkinsville police station saying that a bunch of small aliens landed from a spaceship and attacked their farmhouse, in which they started to hold or fend off their farmhouse from these aliens for nearly 4 hours. Two of the adults, Elmer Sutton and Billy Ray Taylor, claimed that they had been shooting at a few short, dark figures who repeatedly popped up at the doorway or peeked into the window.
Were they just fucking misconstrued for Halloween?
I think I've played this game before.
Concerned about a possible gun battle between local citizens, 4 city police officers, 5 state troopers, 3 deputy sheriffs, and 4 military police officers from the nearby United States Fort Campbell drove to the Sutton farmhouse. The search yielded nothing apart from the evidence of gunfire and holes in the windows and door.
That's insane.
But they were apparently
That seems like some bad drugs, man.
This makes it even better.
I didn't know contact high was so fucking literal. That's crazy.
Two of the guys that
Contact high. That's funny as shit.
two of the guys that were there just so happened to be carnies or carnival workers.
All right, so even worse. That's not.
Is that a slur? Is that something we can say?
In that community? Is it
Yeah, I just dropped a carnival, clown slur or whatever.
Jesus
Anyways, but they were visiting the farmhouse. The next day, neighbors told the 2 officers that the families had packed up and left after claiming the creatures had returned about 3:30 in the morning.
Dude, that's insane.
Dude,
they weren't done.
They were like, "Nah, I'm out." Of course, it got into the paper where a bunch of little green men were running around 2 to 4 feet tall, large pointy ears, claw-like hands, eyes that glowed yellow.
What the fuck?
Spindly legs.
Spindly?
Whatever. Potato.
Potato.
But anyways.
So basically, the description of a Dungeons and Dragons goblin
that sounds like a
started a
fucking-
gunfight on a farm,
Here,
man.
I want y'all to do me a favor. Here, I'm gonna send y'all the picture.
What's
Scroll
that
down
movie
a
where,
little bit.
don't feed them at midnight? It's like
And
one of those.
Y'all will
Grim
see
Reaper.
the picture of it, and it's compared to a certain.
What is
that?
Oh no, he's just hanging out. Oh my goodness.
So,
if you're looking at it, if you want to see it yourself, you need to Google Hopsville Goblin.
you just
And Goblin is right. Or if you happen to know what a great horned owl looked like, imagine that, but alien-ish.
Yeah. So even UFOologist. Wow, that's literally
That's
a
a
word.
lot of words.
UFologist.
UFOologist. I can't believe that's a thing.
I think it's
Literally a UFO specialist came out and said, "I just beat the shit out of my mic." Anyways,
That's what he said, really?
that's literally what he said. No, I punched my mic moving my hands.
Oh, nice.
But he said the best explanation is they saw a great horned owl and they just let it rip.
They just couldn't have it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some funny fucking shit, man. What the? It's so terrifying.
Hold on, let me see if I was gonna see what the police had said, but nope, it didn't. They didn't say anything.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna say? I don't think these guys are telling the truth. Like, I really don't think they had a gunfight with aliens. I'm gonna shoot straight with you. So, hear me out. What if they were telling the God's honest truth?
Sure.
Like, what if they had lived through that, and then they're just like, "How do we tell this story?" And then one of them stands up from the back and goes, "We tell the truth." and so they go to the cops, and no one in a fucking million years believes them. And yet there's some species of aliens out there who has the equivalent to, like, what's a group of misfits? Like the Three Stooges. They started a gunfight, man. Kentucky. What were they fighting over, right? Like,
It's just get off our land.
Get off our lawn!
All right, this gets even
This
better
is the
because
direct consequence of shoot first and ask questions later.
so my favorite thing to look up on this stuff is what inspires pop culture off of like these events. So in the late 70s, a small curator by the name of Steven Spielberg used the event as the basis for Night Skies, an unproduced science film horror film.
You might have heard of him, some unknown.
Oh my god, dude. I cannot wait until you say what I think you're gonna say. Looking at this fucking Wikipedia page, you gotta read it in order, man. It's too good.
The 1986 comedy horror film Critters is loosely based on the event. Oh god, fucking, are you serious? This
is it.
The Pokemon Sableye. Sableye, introduced in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, is based on the Goblins description in the event. In the games, they are animated with a swaying or waddling motion. Based on the
Pokemon, dude. It's so funny.
Hold on, I gotta find this. No, I don't want that. I want the Pokemon. I know what it looks like.
God, dude, I have seen this so many times that I didn't realize this was Hoboken Goblin, dude.
Dude, I don't know how to pull up the fucking...
Just Google Sableye. What are you, 12? Come on.
Shush. I'm working on it, okay? Hold on.
Holy shit.
Image. Oh my fucking god.
So it's just this, like... It's just this goblin-looking Pokemon. I'm sorry. This is a visual bit. This is no good for listeners. Dude, that is so funny.
No, this is even better. The Kelly community, which
the fucking blank stare on that photo that just gets me. Man.
So this place is also called Kelly Hopkinsville.
For sure.
So I don't know why, but the Kelly community celebrates the event annually with Little Green Men Day festivals. And I want you to know right now, I would love.
Dude, I want to go! What the fuck? That looks lit!
Dude, how do we go to one of these?
Oh, yeah, we need to do a live podcast.
Little Green Men.
I am Googling this shit right now. How do I buy tickets?
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be less expensive than the fucking Raiders game, I guess.
Goodness gravy. Dude, we really should have picked the original. It's too much. It's too much. But yeah, no, so I think these people might have been lying. I don't think they were truthing. I think they might have been tripping on something.
I think they were whacked, and they immediately thought an owl was therefore some spindly fucking garbage can creature from the great beyond or something like that. That's
oh my goodness.
Oh my god, guys,
dude.
It's every August 18th through the 21st.
This is the only thing that will get me into the state of Kentucky.
It looks so. Pictures and
what
stuff.
the fuck is that plushie?
All right, yeah, no. If you're just chilling, this is very much worth a Google. It's so bad.
Oh my
if you
God.
look, okay, so I don't know how well versed in Wikipedia you are, but you can look up older versions of like what the page images used to be.
Yeah.
And they were so much worse.
Oh no.
Than the modern iteration. This is the first image updated to Wikipedia, dude. It looks like clip art. It's just terrible, ugly clip art.
Oh, dude,
And it was the Hospital Goblin.
That's insane.
We're gonna have to figure out how to put these in the.
Yeah, we're not skilled enough for that. I'm sorry, I can't translate word to image for you. That's my bad.
No, I got you.
But no, just a side note, I think Steven Spielberg is actually in on the whole like alien cover-up thing and knows exactly what they look like.
Well, I mean,
like that's a joke from the movie Paul that I stole. I love that movie, but also I think it's spot on.
Oh,
like,
fair.
I think the and you can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes with my fingers. Alien they uncovered in Mexico was definitely just like an ET clone, right?
Wait, hold on. You're telling me he did arachnophobia?
Ew.
Anyways,
What? Gross.
sorry. I didn't know he did arachnophobia.
That's funny.
So bad.
What are you on about?
Steven Spielberg.
How could you dare get off topic?
Yeah, I'm not off topic. I have ADHD. All right. I was just reading the movies that he was doing. You know. I was trying to see if I've seen any by this lone man. You know,
Oh,
he's got a small career.
well, I will give you give you the whole ass, more real side of aliens if you'd like.
Okay, pull me back in with that one.
Okay, so I would say, like, well, actually, a couple of things. I recently traveled over to Roswell.
Yeah.
And they had a copy of the newspaper, and this newspaper is like the funniest thing to me. So I think it was 1954 was when Roswell happened, right?
I thought it was 1946, but yeah.
Oh, wait, hold up. Let's pull it up.
Yeah.
Or someone pull it up and fact check my ass real quick.
All right, let's see here. Incident, 1947.
Okay, 1947. A UFO allegedly crashes. So the first thing that happens is like the farmer like calls the cops or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, something's going on here." And then the military base nearby is alerted, right?
As one does, yeah.
And they go to check it out. And one of the most renowned military like groups ever, the special one of the air groups, I forget what it's called, but they were the people in charge of like launching nukes, like back when they were dropped from planes and stuff, right? They were like, "We found a flying saucer, guys." And then as soon as like the big federal government got to it, like, no, weather balloon. But there was a newspaper release that said, "Hey, we found a flying saucer," and they had a copy of it at the little community center in Roswell, and it was kind of cute and neat to look at. But also, I think it's funny as shit that one of the most like famous and renowned military groups was like, "Hell yeah, dude, it's a flying saucer." And then like 2 days later, the local police were like, "Nah."
We didn't,
They had no idea what they were talking about. They don't have a clue. That's aside the point, though. That's just like fun little fact of recent history.
Group.
There we go.
Yeah, they were
what? Jesus.
509 bombing group. Oh wow, they're the ones that controlled the B-2 or fly the B-2.
Yep. Yeah, no, dude, I'm not kidding. They were like some really serious folks at the time, and now probably.
Oh, by the way, if you look it up on Wikipedia, it's called the 1947 military balloon crash.
Damn.
Dude, a Fed edited that page.
There's no way.
Yeah, that's Fed work right there. You can't convince me otherwise. So let's move forward a little bit in history. In 1989, this guy Bob Lazar goes on, I forget, like the 4-letter news channels type shit,
right?
In Las Vegas, Nevada, and this is a terrible summarization, but he claims that he worked on the propulsion system of a flying saucer, came into contact with flying saucers. He worked at a place that was then claimed to be Area 51, in a section called S4. And that was his job, was to reverse engineer UFOs, and he found it to be his human responsibility, or he claims to have found it to be. Sorry, this is all alleged because I haven't seen a flying saucer yet. But he alleged that, like, hey, the government has these things, and I think it was like EG&G, which is one of those like EG&G and Lockheed Martin are over in Area 51, allegedly. And so these big companies had, like, however they did, obtained these UFOs and were trying to reverse engineer them for, technological edge and all that. Right? So he goes on, he claims it, and then ever since his life has been kind of chaotic. He claims the government, like, tried to revoke that he ever worked with the Los Alamos Laboratories, which it was later found he was on a directory, and he did work at the Los Alamos Lab, which is what he did before, also working on, like, propulsions and advanced weapon systems, as he claims. This guy also created a jet car and a hydrogen-powered Corvette. These are just facts. Like, he actually made this cool shit.
Hydrogen
Yeah.
power. That's... I could tell a story about that one, but I'm not going to do that one right now. Go ahead. Go on, sorry.
Rest in peace, Stanley Myers, shot to death for making a water-powered car.
Yeah, the guy that makes the Myers Max.
Yep.
Makes. Anyways.
And it just, like, had his life wrecked. He eventually, like, got divorced. He could never necessarily prove what he did, but he made a couple of claims, specifically about certain elements and the way they were. how gravity worked, whether it was a string or a wave or kind of both. He made
Interesting.
some claims, like science-related claims that he had found out based upon this really high-tech propulsion system that he claims he worked on, right? And I'm just going to drop the whole claims thing and say he did it, not because that's necessarily what exactly I believe, but because it's easier to speak. So he does all this. He says, hey, this is kind of how reality is. They're hiding this shit from you, but I don't really have any proof. Supposedly, he actually got out with some of the element 115, which I'm not sure if that's the Call of Duty element or not, but that's the
115.
element. Yeah, exactly, 115.
Yeah, 115, yeah.
And so that's what they later used in Call of Duty, if you happen to hear that one before. But he claimed this shit was like real and used it far before it was ever on the periodic table. And so that's neat. And he makes a couple of claims and you know, like just like guessing an element right and then getting a 50-50 chance on like gravity being you know, a wave as opposed to like whatever the other things are. I think at the time they thought it was gravitons, which were particles. That's how they thought gravity worked, was like everything inherently had this particle called a graviton. The graviton was what caused gravity as a result, you know, as we experience it. And the Earth is big, so it had a lot of gravitons, and therefore we experience gravity, right?
Neat.
Well, he's like, no, that's not the case. It's actually, I think it's a wave, which is what we know it to be now after some tests and some confirmation based on like colliding black holes proved it due to some scientific data we got from space. I'm butchering the details here, by the way, so take everything kind of with a grain of salt.
It's fine.
You're fine. Matthew got excited when he heard black holes.
Black holes.
But anyways, he made some claims, and they did turn out to be right. And one notable thing about this Bob Lazar guy is his story over the past, like, what is this, 40-something years? This was 1989 when he did this interview, so, like, 35 years, right?
Yeah.
His story has remained pretty much consistent. And we've talked about this before with the consistency thing, right?
Where it's like between lying and that one fucking rat from last episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Travis Walton.
Yeah.
But it's just like, sometimes I think there may just be people who are just exceptional at lying.
Right.
And they have things to benefit. But in terms of this Bob Lazar guy, it doesn't really seem like he's benefited at all. In fact, his life is, if it was as he said it was before, has only gotten worse.
Shit.
So, fast forward a while until today. And not today. In fact, it's 2024 now, so it'd be last year. But this guy, David Koresh, he testifies in front of Congress. Now, David Koresh and his career, this is not...
This is Goresh, not Koresh.
Okay.
Okay.
I misheard.
Koresh.
Whoa.
Yeah, Gur with a G.
Koresh was
I was like,
Prince
wait,
Davidians.
when was this?
Yeah, not he didn't just like come back to life to talk
I was
about
to
aliens.
say,
Sorry.
He was actually real. He was a prophet.
Yeah. In fact, he came back and is Jesus 2, the sequel.
Jesus 2, Attack of the Clones.
That's funny. That's very good. That's very good. So this guy, David Koresh, and no one's like really contesting this. He's had a career. He was like 7 years in the Air Force, 7 years in the reserves, and then he like has like a civilian Air Force type relationship. And I forget what that's called, but he did intelligence, right? Like he scored very highly on his ASVAB. He has a degree in physics. Or like an undergrad in physics.
Smart
and then,
fucking man.
A master's degree in I think like Homeland Security or something like that.
Damn.
What the fuck? God damn.
Yeah, so like a pretty fucking rock solid dude.
Damn.
He went in front of Congress and said, "Hey, there's a couple of companies out there, like Lockheed Martin and EG&G and Boeing and I think a couple of more. I don't know if he named these people or not, or if I'm just gonna get like sued for libel, but whatever."
You'd be fine.
Yeah, and they're reverse engineering alien spacecraft. I wasn't cleared to talk about how they're doing it or where they got them, but I'm going to tell you that they are doing it.
Oh, shit.
And now things are going through the Congress and I believe the Senate. I'm not really sure how all that works. I didn't pay attention in American government.
I'm fucking curious
obviously.
how that would work. How do you approach
So-
that?
What he did was he went. So if you want to talk about top secret stuff, or like if you want to talk about stuff that's like tangential to top secret stuff, and you want to keep your clearance, obviously, right? And you want to do it the right way without just like, oh, he's a whistleblower. He said he knows X, Y, and Z, and you can kind of be discredited. He went through like the Air Force's, I think the Air Force's Office of like, oh God, I forgot the name already, but they clear you to talk about certain things. And so like he gave them a whole bunch of shit. He's like, here's everything I know. What can I talk about? And then like fucking years later, they got back to him and said, hey, you can talk about these things. So he went in front of Congress and he did. And he's also done like closed door sessions with Congress where you can talk about whatever the fuck you want, top secret or otherwise, because they're not recorded for the public. Because us plebs aren't allowed to know about aliens, you know. And that's kind of what's been going on. And what he describes kind of gives levity to the kind of Bob Lazar story type of deal. But there's this consistent narrative over the course of 50 plus years of like, no one's really saying how we got him, but we got, and I think one answer was like an archaeologic dig, found a couple, but that's kind of a side note. We got a bunch of flying saucers, and we're reverse engineering them.
I mean, this would be the first instance of a military either reverse engineering or even creating their own flying saucer.
Well, that's the crazy thing, though, right? Like, this isn't the military. This is private contractors. These are companies. These are like...
you're right, because Lockheed Martin and stuff they're just their own entity in themselves.
Yeah, they're publicly traded companies. Like,
so what I'm like referring to is the Germans during World War II, late war. Of course, we had found documents of.
Was this a search of? Oh, never mind.
Well, those people, they had a real affiliation with like weird and strange objects. And
I mean, like the real society is my favorite, where Hitler walked around with a group of witches like 24/7.
Yeah, that's what I was
Like, what
thinking
the
of.
shit?
Yeah, it wasn't UFOs. That was fucking. It was all that supernatural shit. That's
well,
nuts.
okay, so
Well, they
there's-
did all of it.
Dude,
Like
that's
they were
ins-
trying to figure out how to be God, and they were taking any route to get there.
Let's see if I can pull up the. Yeah, so the Germans had their own like drawings of a supposed flying saucer that they were going to.
Well, they had
create.
the Nazi bell, right? Which
Yeah,
is
it's
supposed to
the-
time travel
the
to
Die
or
Block.
something.
Called the Die Glock.
Sure, I don't.
Yeah,
Whatever that one is.
I'm not going to pronounce the full version of it, other than it's called the Wunderwaffe.
Oh, the Wonder Weapon.
Which is just
Yeah,
Wonder
the
Weapon, and
Wonder Weapon.
yeah.
Wunderwaffe. But anyways, and it's kind of crazy how many different like militaries have had like different weird.
Well, and allegedly, it really like sure, it kind of started out, with the Nazis and stuff really taking like, and that's not to say we don't know, like maybe the ancient Sumerians talking about the Anunnaki were talking about aliens or whatever too, which is just like that's some of that either apocryphal or otherwise eclectic and eccentric literature of just like weird shit happening throughout history,
Oh yeah.
But like especially after we dropped the bombs. Shit just started going crazy, allegedly.
Oh, there's a theory that the Die Glock is located in a Nazi gold train that was buried underneath a tunnel beneath a mountain in Poland.
Oh, all right.
Okay, all right.
Interesting.
Anyways,
That's some like Indiana Jones save the world type
I was
shit
about
going
to
on
say,
right
didn't
there.
we just
Indiana
watch an
Jones
Indiana
6.
Jones movie like this where they were, I don't know, chasing a train with, some weird ass objects on it?
Trying to be a Time Lord out there.
God, fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah, Hitler's whatever.
Eccentric.
I ain't gonna go. No.
I don't know.
Anyways, continue on. I can't fucking speak.
Well, I mean that's about the gist of it. Is like we've had these stories going on, and I've been kind of following the whole Bob Lazar shit for quite a few years now. I think aliens are really neat. And,
The whole thought of
it's one of those
itself.
things, like, I mean, at the moment anyways, it's fairly inconsequential whether it's real or not, right? Like, sure,
Yeah,
it'd
because
be nice if there's aliens, but are they going to pay my rent, right?
It
Like,
kind of aliens and like ghosts, like it's all kind of like on a similar deal because so what if you believe in them? What's it gonna hurt if it turns out not to be real? Kind of
Right.
thing, I guess. But I don't know.
oh, what is it? Pascal's wager with God. Like, if you can believe in God, and if he's real, you win. Win meaning go to heaven, obviously. And if he's not real, you don't lose out on anything. But if you don't believe in God and he's real, you lose everything. And if he's not real, you don't gain anything. Like that wager.
Oh yeah.
That's the opposite of this case. You just made me think of it.
Yeah.
If we have time, I do have a segue for
Oh,
a quick
dude.
what I was going to.
Oh, dude, you got.
Yeah, what's good? What's good?
You're good. Keep going.
So, you were talking about God and I guess religion and the idea of consciousness and all that stuff. So I covered a few weeks ago and also last night to refresh myself something called the egg theory, which began as a short story in about 2009 by some English writer that did, basically describing how this old man dies and he goes to some other place.
Shit! I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It's wild. He goes to some other place, and there's an entity that comes up and starts talking to him. And he says, well, what the fuck happened? Where am I? Am I dead? He's like, yeah, you're dead. He's like, well, are you God? He's like, yeah, basically. He said, okay, well, what's going to happen to my family and my kids and all that? He's like, well, fucking inconsequential, doesn't really matter at the end of it, blah, blah, blah. And they start talking about, what about everybody else? Is anybody else hurt? He's like, well, that's where things kind of start to get funny. You've actually lived a lot of you will get reincarnated from here, and you lived a lot of different lives. And he's saying, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, you have lived millions and millions of different lives, and your soul is insanely old. But every time that you die and come back into a different vessel, all of your memories from the past life is lost. And he was like, well, what do you mean? So anybody that I have known or will know or will ever be is going to be is going to just be me. And so that's the theory. And that's why they call it an egg, is once this person lives every consciousness of every life on Earth in this world that he's in, he can ascend from there to try to become a godly figure.
Well, no, it's just like, if I remember correctly, it's like, then he will be born.
Yes, because this is all
like,
a
all this
fetal
is just the
stage.
gestation period.
It's the whole idea of basically treating your fellow man with respect and don't be a dick, right? Because it could potentially in some way be you or will be you later on in life. And you'll experience
that's very like
later.
Buddhist in nature.
Yeah, I
right?
was about
really
to say
interesting.
it's very similar to Buddhism in reincarnation.
Yeah.
After you die, becoming, you're being reincarnated as something else. And you could also think of it too as, I know certain like pagan-esque religions, if I remember right. Like, let's say, you give a life, they take a life kind of thing, or what is it, the one-for-one thing?
Right.
Where
like
the
payment.
law of Hammurabi, where it's an eye for an eye type of deal.
I guess that's what I was kind of referring to. I guess you could, I guess I don't know where I was going with that. I'll be honest. I had a whole spill in my head, but that didn't make sense to the story you were telling.
That's fine. But it is definitely it's something that's interesting. Is thinking that the whole aspect of it is basically that the entire world or universe of this person is this one dude. Like, every other human interacting is basically an NPC until this dude shows up and and gets into their next life.
No. It's not an NPC though, right? Like, it's not every other person is just like some fucking husk used to be a placeholder. It's all him, all at once.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same consciousness that just happens to be disconnected. And that kind of reminds me, and I'll talk about it a little bit, but like this is some of that more esoteric is the word I was looking for earlier. That's the word. and I'm gonna do a terrible job explaining a concept, but
No, that's fine.
all of the universe is like not necessarily the imagination, but the creation of one mind split apart into a billion, trillion, million pieces, right?
Right.
Like at one point there was an entity. We could go so far as to say all powerful or whatever, but
Sure.
for whatever reason, and then the consensus is the reason is to like learn and to exist and to be and just like all these higher concept things that I try to struggle to understand, but they either chose to split themselves into a billion pieces or otherwise created us for some reason. Us being everything, not just like, necessarily we the people on planet Earth, but like
Yeah, just
the spirits in the universe and the planets and the
like all
rocks
being.
and it's all just part of this one consciousness that will one day, it may be incomprehensible leagues of time from now in our perception, but it could be tomorrow for something else, comes back together.
Oh yeah.
And we're just kind of here to exist as an individual, just for a moment, just as a blink, just to see, and then eventually we'll, you or me and I am you come back together and
There was actually it reminds me
reconcile
of
these consciousnesses.
Oh yeah, and I love the idea of that kind of shit. That reminds me of I think it was my roommate was telling me about. It was a school of thought called absurdism. Which is like, the world is so great and incredible, and that the galaxies are massive, and that the universe is irrational, and that things don't make sense, and everything can happen all at once, and so you can find comfort in that. Everything is fucking insane and massive, but that's kind of the beauty of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like if we're so small we don't matter, why give a shit? Right?
Yeah.
And it's not even that we don't matter. I guess that's a misstep on the philosophy. Sorry, it's just like we play such a small role in the grand scheme of like the universe rotating.
Oh yeah.
That like the best we can do is just to exist well, whatever you take that to mean, like philosophically.
Yeah, definitely. And fucking shit, I agree with that. Fucking that shit's fire. That sounds great. But
The older I get, the more Kantian I feel. Someone's dog is going insane.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Go put him down,
Dude,
Sorry,
give me
Ellie,
Ellie,
you're
I'll
the
be
dinner
back.
for tomorrow.
She is losing her shit right now. I will be back.
All right. Take a moment. Let's take a little pause. All right. I'm gonna clap for the guy, and then I'm gonna put a little note if you don't mind sending it to him.
Sure. Oh, for a pause. Okay.
That's what we're calling it, Stephen Tom. Nah, dude, this absurd as shit. So, did you ever read that book I lent you? You forgot about it, you dick. I was trying to share something important to me with you, and you're just like, fuck that guy. I don't give a shit, you ass. You agreed to take it. Read, fucker. What are you doing that's more important than reading? Do you know the average American read 0 books last year? 51% of all Americans read no books. Did you read no books last year? That puts you in like I think the top 15 percentile read too, if I remember. Yeah. We're in a bad spot, dude. He is raising the average single-handedly. There's one dude in like a Moroccan bazaar. He has a bookshop and all he does is read all day, and he raises the human average by like 15% single-handedly. His IQ is in the fucking 4 digits.
All right, fucking, I don't know. Somebody walked through the alley, I guess. I don't know. I got her to calm down. I feel sorry for the audio editor because you can see in my audio when
every time where she barks.
Every time. It's not big, but yeah.
Is there?
I don't know if it's not one thing or it's another. I swear to God.
No. It's whatever. We love you. What's the audio editor's name?
Hey, Weekly. Good luck.
Is that his real name?
No.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. So, like, if he happened to be into both men and women, he'd be bi-weekly?
That was pretty good.
Fucking shit. Bi-weekly.
Oh, man.
Resume at 41 minutes or so Steven's time. Big money.
Yep. All right.
Oh,
So yeah, no, the consciousness of the universe is a pretty big topic, but at the same time, I think like if more people took just a second to think about what their fellow man meant to them, I think we'd be in a better place, right? Because like I don't know, this is probably just like the pessimism that seeps into my life. I feel like I'm a pessimist by nature, just like I grew up in a family that was depressed a lot. You know, we lost a lot of family members while I was growing up, and so I wasn't really around a whole lot of happy people. And I think maybe as a result of that, I'm kind of a pessimist at heart. But I try not to be. But one thing that gets to me is just like people get so enraptured by the distractions presented to us, you know. There's fucking 15 different brands of Lay's on an aisle, and that's what we're worried about, right? Like,
is that analysis paralysis? Is that what it is? When you're trying to choose one thing and you're just fucking bombarded with just anything that can try to grab for your attention?
listen, you just walk down the
certainly
aisle
a
and
part
you buy,
of it, right?
but you buy the first salt and vinegar bag of chips you find, and then you walk away.
That's how I've done it my whole life, and it's worked out so far.
True.
Because salt and vinegar is easily the best flavor, and if you try to sit here and comprehend it, then
Listen,
you're obviously
the
wrong.
top 3 chips is Doritos, salt and vinegar chips, and Cheetos, and there's no. Like,
Zach is part of the problem.
I am the problem. All right.
He thinks about this a lot, actually. Although he's right on all counts. I'm just saying. No, but like a bit of the just like being frozen in that. But I'm more so not the analysis of which chip to choose, but just like that was an example of all of the distractions we get on a day to day, and we never sit there and think like, who am I? Why am I here? What am I trying to accomplish? Like, I don't know. It really bothered me. So I dropped out of college, and I'd eventually like to go back and finish my degree. Like that's important to my family, and therefore somewhat important to me. And I like learning, so it's not like, you know, just one of those things I'm trying to check a box with. I actually want to figure shit out. But you know, what I found when I was talking to the fellow students I was dealing with was that a lot of these people couldn't tell me why they were there. You know? Especially the people who came like straight from high school. Like you would get like some military vets and stuff, and they know exactly why the fuck they were in college, right?
Right.
Like I had a computer science course with 2 people, and it was kind of a crazy coincidence. They both worked on different nuclear submarines.
Holy shit!
Holy shit!
Like as the nuclear engineer, right?
Dude.
Or like the operator, or whatever the non-degreed person is on that ship.
I like that. That's fucking wild.
Nuclear.
I know. What are the
How
odds,
do you
right?
fucking do that?
You know what's crazy is so, you know, I went to college as well. I have a degree. I have an associate's degree in automotive technology, which I make it out to sound really pretty. It doesn't mean anything. But I also had one military vet that he had served. He was a combat vet in Afghanistan.
Those guys have a different view on life, man.
Oh yeah, that guy was cool. His name is Brian. Brian, if you're out there, I know you're in Dallas now. If you can hear me, it's Zach. Hi, fuck you.
All right.
That
Just
man
screaming to the void.
Yeah, no, he
You think
the other
he
listeners
wastes
know
his
Brian.
time on the fucking Barkin Boys podcast?
Yeah.
No chance.
but
Yeah, stop listening. Go fucking work out.
Yeah.
Go get a better job. Go to school.
No, he finished with me. He is a Harley Davidson mechanic.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah. Okay. So he was that's what he rode every day to school. This is Harley. Fucking love that thing, dude.
In this part of the country, that's an achievement, by the
Yeah.
way.
I'll be honest. Yeah, there wasn't a day, and it was weird. There wasn't a day that I didn't see him riding his Harley. Hold on, I gotta take a minute. I got wife duties. Give me just a second.
I'll bet. True.
Oh, there's a joke in there somewhere, I think. I can't find it though.
Same. I am Helen Keller out here with my fucking.
We'll just push through it this time because I got a whole spiel. But what I mean is just like a lot of the people I went to college with couldn't tell me why they were there, and you can go so far as to say, okay, college, right? Like,
Yeah, it could just be, oh, that's what you do after high school, right?
yeah, like we're you hear him talking with this new mic. That's funny. But yeah, college, right? Like it's primed, right? Like you're supposed to go to college. You know, society tells you to go to college. Your high school advisors tell you to go to college.
Yeah, you need this degree for XYZ, otherwise it's not going to work out, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, well, that sucks. You know, like whatever. You don't know why you're here. I really wish you did, just so you had like a reason to exist other than checking boxes, right?
Oh yeah. And
But
it's
that's not
definitely
always the way it is. But I just like, sorry, I'm gonna just like try to spit this whole thing out. But like, as I've gotten older and I've started to like enter the workforce, so to speak, you know, that's how they always word it, is entering the workforce. When in reality, it's just like I'm trying to pay my bills, you know.
True. I just don't want to die in poverty.
And I work in IT, which we're as kind of a separate breed of people. I don't know if you've ever worked with any IT ever, but it's very odd. It's very mechanic like, but just more logical than physical, I suppose. But anyways, like I meet people at my job, and they're also just like going through the motions. They're not headed anywhere. Right. And I'm not saying you like need some grandiose goal to exist. You don't have to like pay a toll because you were born. But at the same time, I feel like life is so much more meaningful if you just like try for something. Jesus Christ, if your whole goal in life is to like play one cool song on the piano, that's dope. But that's something, not nothing, you know?
Yeah. It's better than
and if you're gonna be stuck here and you're not just gonna like blow your brains out, then you might as well, I don't know, pick a direction and head towards it. Oh my goodness, God!
Yeah.
All right, well we better wrap it up.
Yeah,
fellas.
we got
pleasure.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We just got some crazy news.
Yeah, I hate to end it here, guys, but this has been the Barking Boys podcast. It's been good that you've heard all of our conspiracy theories, the aliens, the existence in life, and you remember, shoot first, ask questions later. And everyone down in the comments,
those are real aliens on your farm.
And if you stayed this long to the end of end of this podcast, drop your favorite chips in the comment. Anyways,
y'all it's not salt and vinegar. I'm just gonna block you.
You just immediately get blocked.
All right, bye.
Bye.